So, a couple interesting things I found. One, there's all this major commotion now in the country over this race, whatever, where it's law enforcement against the general public. If we look at the laws and the changes to the constitutionality of law that's been applied by the federal governments, the state governments, and even local governments and law enforcement, what we find is that it is extremely hard to prove gross negligence of a police officer or law enforcement official. The problem is that operating in their official capacity changes what laws, regulations, and contracts apply to them under their official status as an officer. The problem is that they have been sheltered and shielded from us, the general public, common citizens, those of us who operate under the common law, under UCC, under commercial law, under civil law. It's a little bit different to really look at the reasoning and pinpoint the exact reason why law enforcement has been shielded like this. But what we can find is that due to the amount of insufficiently proven cases against these officials, the court basically decided that we were giving them too much crap and that we were filing too many cases that were not proven beyond a reasonable doubt in the court's eyes. So they made laws to keep that out because, well, people just sue for whatever reason they can anymore, and it's ridiculous. When I say I or we, I mean citizens as a whole, the United States as a whole. Not the commercial organization, but the private citizens who live here. The biggest thing that you're going to find when trying to pursue these people for these actions, you can't really do much. Now think about that. Their oath of office states that they will uphold the Constitution of the United States above any and all else. Our constitutional rights are supposed to be upheld by them above anything else they do in their personal or official capacities. Once they take that oath, they agree to protect that. Now, when they violate your constitutional rights, why do you have to seek monetary gain? Monetary gain is not going to change policy as effectively as prosecuting them for violating their oath of office. If an official, elected or hired individual, police officer, judge, prosecuting attorney, the list goes on and on and on and on. If they're on our payroll and they had to take an oath of office, going after them for violating that oath is much more efficient than any criminal action or civil action you can take against them for monetary gain. Once they violate their oath of office, they can never hold any elected or oath-carrying office in their life again. And even some of them can be prosecuted to the point where they're imprisoned for that violation. It depends on their rank and order, and that's a whole other ballgame. Getting rich off these people violating your rights does not change policy. It may change public opinion. It may have a long-term effect on policy change because they don't want to keep getting that money sucked out of their little purses. But what's more effective? If every officer knows on the force that they can lose their right and their ability to ever hold office again, I'm talking judges, prosecutors, senators, congressman, you name it, all the way up to the presidential house of the United States. If they violate that oath of office, they can never hold a position of public service containing an oath ever again in their life. If I know that my profession carries the ability for someone to stop me from ever being involved in that profession ever again in my life, something that I've gone to college for, that I've worked my tail off to get into and to keep my position, or something that I've had to fight to get elected by the general government or the general people to do, that's a lot of energy that's expelled into these things that is wasted. Think about that. The next time they violate your rights, question them, ask them, did you not take an oath of office to uphold the Constitution of the United States above any and all else? They'll either evade the question or they'll answer yes. Either one tells you they know that you know. Violating their oath of office is a far worse punishment than anything you can go after them for. Try it. See what happens.